So welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Tea with myself, Kayne and Dino. So, Dino, tell everyone what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay, clue. Okay, so in the last Weekly Tea we talked about stimulant type pre-workouts. We thought it'd be nice to carry on the pre-workout category, but they're stim free for the guys chasing the almighty pump.
Yeah, so there's multiple ways you can get a pump, but these kind of three main ways you can, there's only three main ways you can get a pump, really, if you think about it. You've got elevated levels of nitric oxide, water-based through osmosis, and obviously nutrient-glycemic pumps. Out of them three, which do you think, in your opinion, is the most agonising?
Ooh,
and why?
See, I would probably say the most agonising would be the nitric oxide pump, because that tends to cause more lactic acid build-up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you take an osmolite, such as like glycerol monostearate, actually no, thinking about it, it's kind of hard, because on one hand, the increased osmosis and the water hydration in your muscle, it's making the skin burst, that hurts. But then you've got the lactic acid burn, which can come from either increased blood flow, nutrient delivery, without taking a vasodilator, or taking a vasodilator that converts to arginine, so then that's going to increase the lactic acid.
I think, in my opinion, it'd probably have to be like a nutrient pump. For example, like if I have like a calorie dense meal before a train, and let's say I take that with like a pint of water or something, and then maybe throw a GDA in. Like that elevated levels of glycogen in the muscle in terms of pump, I just think it's agonising.
So for guys who might be getting a bit confused what we mean by nutrient delivery, a high carb, high sugar, a high carb, high salt meal with maybe some fats in there for delivery. If you take basically like oats, have some oats, maybe a spoonful of peanut butter. Some people, bodybuilders, put salt in their oats when they take pre-workouts, and that's the reason why.
Just having a very nutrient dense muscle, elevated glycogen levels, it is agonising, like, do you know what I mean? And you'll know, like, if you, for example, like if you have a cheat meal before you train, or actually have a cheat meal before you train, and I promise you now, the pumps are just insane.
Get a big fat burger. Big fat greasy burger.
Burger, or 2 pasties and you're flying.
There's actually a lot of guys that have actually said that, like Juji Mufu, he says one of the best pumps he's ever had is when he has a burger like
it is just
an hour before going to the gym,
bit of everything,
and then you've just got this skin tearing. Like we're not condoning eating fast food before your workouts, obviously, because even though there's limited eating, but healthy, go the healthy route in terms of doing it. We don't want you clogging your arteries just to get a massive pump.
So I reckon we get into, like, obviously pump aid products.
Okay, so
how do you want to start it? Do you want to start off with maybe the first kind of pump aids that were on the market?
Okay, so the first, okay, what's your first memory in terms
First
of...
memory, see, like I said, I'm fairly, like I've touched on before in the past, I'm fairly new to this industry, so the first kind of pump aid that I remember seeing everywhere was probably like, probably your BSN Nitrix, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So BSN Nitrix, I think we have a picture of it here, yeah. So this is the formula for BSN Nitrix. You might not be able to make it out on the camera, but it's a very
original one. It's very hard to find the actual original.
It's literally like a 1.5 gram proprietary blend. Now it was taken in tablets, and it's actually quite funny because the tablets were massive. I'd say they were easily over a gram.
Yeah, it's like
if you put a tablet in the palm of your hand and like felt it, like it actually had weight to it. Do you know what I It's like
kind of tablet you see on Vets for Pets going up a dog's bum. You know, as opposed to Tory. It's just you're looking at it and you're thinking, I've got to take 3 of these before work.
Yeah, in terms of it's hard to analyse the formula because it is a proprietary blend.
It's very old school.
Yeah,
as well.
You can't really make out it if it's going to be good or if it isn't. You know, like Ronnie Coleman back in the day when he was sponsored when he was with BSN, like I remember he was just pushing it and he used to slam nearly half a bottle before he'd train. Like
you can tell it's very old school as well because L-arginine, alpha-ketoglutarate, arginine. Like now that we know in this day and age how lack of a good ingredient, actual straightforward arginine is. Back in the day, pump products would always compromise of arginine, L-ornithine and L-novoline. Usually in a 2:1:1 ratio. That's a very old school pre-workout pump chasing type of ingredients.
Yeah, and it's nuts. And then
later on, you had like one of the first pump pre-workouts that was on the market was Metrex Amped.
What year did that come out? Was that early 90s? Or was it even earlier?
I think that was early 90s, you know.
Yeah, early 90s, yeah, Metrex Amped.
Yeah.
But the first kind of pump aids that launched onto the market, they were all like proprietary blends, so you couldn't really tell if it was good or not. Like you could see the ingredients, but you couldn't see the full disclosed dose of each specific ingredient, which, you know, it was hard to kind of analyse.
Going down to proprietary brands, one of the first pump pre-workouts that I remember when I got in the industry around 2000. I started as an outsider in 2004. I actually got in the industry in 2006. But one of the big selling pre-workouts back in the day, in terms of stimulant free, was Get Diesel Not Satisfied. And it had 5 proprieties. It's like some of the dosages, and this was heralded as one of the best products, and you've probably never even heard of Get Diesel. The thing is, most people, even back in the day, had never heard of Get Diesel unless you were quite frequent on the forums, and that's where the likes of me and some of the other nerdy guys would discuss formulations and get pre-workouts and discover products that were mainstream and didn't have a lot of advertising revenue. Like Get Diesel is basically run by a military veteran, Chuck Diesel, and when he left the military, he created his own product line, but really dived. It's like he was one of the first guys to bring out ribos and really push it, but like in some crazy dosages.
Because I remember we spoke about it like the other day, didn't we? He was I'm sure Chad Nichols, I forget though, I'm sure he was like one of the first to bring out a dedicated pump aid product.
Yeah.
Chad Nichols, you know, who's been like a bodybuilding coach for like Ronnie Coleman. Who else was he with? Flex Wheeler back in the day.
I think he was for Flex Wheeler back in the day.
Yeah, he was Chad Nichols anyway.
He was everywhere.
Yeah,
like
massive
Google
guru. Still a massive guru now in the industry. But he brought, I forget his pump. It's gonna do me head in.
I'm sure that had arginine in it. But then you've experimented with arginine itself, haven't you?
I have, yeah. So arginine, it's kind of like arginine on paper. Moving on to arginine anyway. Arginine on paper is phenomenal. Arginine in the blood is phenomenal. But getting it in the blood that's where kind of the issue lies.
Yeah, straight up arginine itself, as in powder, supplements, if you take it orally. All the research on arginine, where it increases vasodilation, it increases enos, different pathways in nitric oxide. The studies are done intravenously. Basically, you're injecting an arginine dilution. So powder arginine gets broken down 95% by your stomach acids, and then it doesn't get absorbed into the intestinal wall.
So like to make arginine effective according to literature, you literally need to take about 20 to 25 grams.
How much did you take when you did that little
I think it was something like I remember having little digital scales and I weighed it out. I'm sure it was like 28 grams.
28 grams?
28 grams, yeah, and I nearly followed through.
So, how long did the workout last? And then how long was the toilet?
It was, like, in terms of pump, let's have the doorbell going. In terms of pump, it was It was alright, it was decent to get a pump off it, but like it's just not feasible taking like
I can't imagine taking that much, just because in the past I've experienced it myself and I took the most at 10 grams and like I found that if I took anything more than 5 grams of arginine, my stomach will go bleh. The next thing I'm getting a heavy pump in the toilet.
It is. That is just the downside. Like arginine's kind of fizzled out now. You're not really going to see it anymore because the amount of literature proven for it not to be very effective, so you're not really going to see it. Kind of, you know, a compound or ingredient that's more or less replaced arginine, and it has done for a very long time, would have to be citrulline.
Yeah,
because obviously citrulline converts to L-arginine. L-arginine, once it's in the blood, is then going to elevate nitric oxide levels, and then you're going to achieve a pump.
People are only now just sort of replacing the likes of using citrulline as a base for nitric oxide. Even before then, you had two main powerhouses, so to speak. One ingredient which recently, last couple of years, got banned in the UK just because it has some painkiller properties. Agmatine. Agmatine was amazing.
I like agmatine. Like some people slate it and say, "Oh, agmatine this, agmatine that's not even that good." But I've taken agmatine. I think agmatine in a gram or more.
1 to 2 grams of agmatine, and you get, my erectors get such a pump, it hurts. I can't. Oh, it hurts now just thinking about it.
See, it's like this product, like Vasago or Vasago, however you want to pronounce it. The original formula of this had agmatine in, but I forget the dose of agmatine. Was it a gram or was it 500 milligrams of agmatine?
It was 500 milligrams, you know.
Yeah, that's what Vasago was kind of known for. The original formula, anyway, was for the agmatine content, and people loved it. I think agmatine was brilliant, and I think it was great.
One first guys who brought agmatine to market, Man Sports Blueprint brought agmatine, and they advertised it as a nutrient partitioner / nitric oxide, because it does stimulate some insulin secretion, and because the insulin secretion, when you're taking it with other nutrients, other compounds, it increases the absorption rate of those other compounds. So basically, whenever you've got agmatine in a pre-workout or any sort of product, it acts similar to, basically it's a GDA. It acts similar to a GDA, but with some mechanisms of the likes of estrogen or bioperin, where it increases the transportation of those compounds.
Obviously, I think probably one very effective compound for a pump. It's something that's very easily obtainable. You can buy it from anywhere. It'd have to be salt. What's your opinion on salt for a pump?
I like salt. I do.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it on my chips.
Honest to God, like salt, right? Salt, it's so, you know, it's so available. It's such a good...
It's a very good mineral. The bad thing is it's so slated. It's like, okay, remember years ago, guys, where everyone was so scared of fat? Oh no, like I need to lose weight. So I want fat free this, fat free that, fat free that. Oh, look at everyone's health right now. Health, okay, has gone down, and people are still obese, and it's not because like they haven't tried eating fat-free diets, because fat is important for hormone optimization. Again, sodium, it's very important for hydration. You need to stay hydrated. Okay, there's a limit. Okay, the limit is 6 grams of salt a day.
Salt a day, that's the limit. Like,
loads of people have moved away from using salt in anything to the point where now they're salt deficient, they're sodium deficient. And that's not a good thing. Everything in moderation, guys. Come on, don't get rid of something entirely just because you've heard pro science online.
Like salt, I think salt, in addition to, like, you know, elevated glycogen levels for a pump, like I talked about before, I think sodium in itself is phenomenal for a pump. It's such a powerful osmolyte, because what you've got to think of, wherever water goes in the body, salt more or less follows. And if you think of it, 70% of your body's made up of water. If you've got sodium, very, very powerful osmolyte, obviously intaking with water, with your body being more or less 70% water, just think of the pump.
Sodium is shown clinically that when you ingest sodium with a carbohydrate source, it increases the carbohydrate transportation into the muscle. So again, that acts a bit like a GDA, for lack of a better term. So if you're taking, again, going back to the hamburger thing, the carbohydrates and the sodium, you're increasing the carb to be stored as glycogen in your muscle. And that glycogen is going to give you a nice little pump, nice full round muscle bellies.
Do you reckon we move on to products that we stock at tnutrition in terms of pump, our best selling, what we like, what we've taken?
Okay, so what's your favourite? These are probably a selection of a few.
These are a selection of a few. We have, we have much more here at tnutrition, but going off by what we have here, my favourite, it'd have to be Ghost Pump. It's got to be. What I love so much about this is the fact that it's got obviously arginine nitrate in at 2.5 grams. So we touched on arginine before. Pure arginine on its own is extremely ineffective. You have to take it in just stupendous dose to get any form of benefit from it. But whereas arginine nitrate it's different in it.
It is. Arginine nitrate is the only nitrate form that doesn't develop tolerance. In other words, the last serving of it will give you just as good as a pump as the first serving of it. You always got to take nitrates with vitamin C though, and they have.
They've nailed it. And what I love about this is Norvaline. It's got 300 milligrams of Norvaline. That's insane. Average dose is between 50 to 150 milligrams from what I've seen anyway. In products, but Norvaline is something obviously. It's very nitric oxide compound heavy, so there's compounds in here that are going to help elevate the nitric oxide. But we're having that whopping dose of Norvaline at 300 milligrams. It's going to stop the degeneration of nitric oxide, which obviously stopping that is then going to prolong a pump. In addition to all that, I think it tastes amazing.
It is really nice.
For something that's such a stacked formula, something that's got so many active ingredients in, it actually tastes nice, doesn't it? So the guys at Ghost,
they've nailed it.
Dan and the other boys have absolutely nailed it.
One of my favourites back in the day, now Body Octane has been around for years. It's been different versions. This was one of the few back in the day stim-free pre-workouts. The formula is still pretty heavy, still pretty good. But right now I can't really say it's one of my favourites. One of my favourites is probably either going to be, you've got Vaso Max, or you've got Big Noise. Now the reason being, you've got glycerin monostarate, and you've got acetylcholine in there. So I like nootropics. I like the brain focus.
Because I think a lot of pump aids are going down the nootropic route. So they're stim free, but they're putting nootropics in
something
there,
that's going to help your focus as well. And the different sources of choline, you've got acetylcholine in this one here, and you've got alpha GPC in this. So I like doing 2 scoops of this, because then you're getting the clinical dosage of growth hormone increasement. You get 600 milligrams of alpha GPC. You're getting 6 grams of glycopum. So it's heavy. And
I like the fact that they put potassium nitrate in here as well.
Of course.
You get a
nice level of potassium nitrate. Again, vitamin C contained within it. Always want to combine vitamin C with any sort of nitrates.
So obviously, talking about what we've talked about, obviously we've got we must have about 2 minutes left or something. I think we should talk about the future of stim-free pre-workouts. Where do you think that they're going to end up? Do you know what I mean?
Combination. I always want a combination. You want an osmolite, you want an arginine precursor. You want some salt. You want maybe a GDA in there.
I think GDA,
a GDA, just because then if you put in carbs, then you're kind of limiting, you're excluding the guys who don't want to ingest carbs. But if you're putting some kind of GDA in there, not to a dosage where you having to contain carbohydrates within your meal, because loads of people like to train on fasted, but just enough there to kind of mimic the effect of what Agmatine used to do.
I think the future with pump aids, you're starting to see, like I touched on just before, you're starting to see pump aids, stim free pump aids, but with nootropics in there, different types of choline to increase focus and so on and so forth. It's to increase focus to get that mind muscle connection. Do you know what I mean? Mind muscle connection, better pump. Obviously, you get more ingredients to help with pump, plus your nootropics to help with mind muscle connection, and so on. But I also think tablet based products as well. I think we're seeing a massive increase in these lately because
I reckon you're going to see more liquid based products as well.
We forgot to touch on that.
because the
not
fact
that.
it's liquid,
Yeah.
it basically absorbs so fast, and you get the pump within about 10 minutes to start taking it.
Yeah,
And this is
totally forgot to touch on
micronized
that,
glycerol. You got citrulline, you got Hicker, very expensive ingredient, great for recovery.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it tastes good.
And to put things like in shots and tablets, it's kind of like
It's convenient.
Yeah, it's convenience, but there's a lot of active ingredients out there that don't taste very nice.
And
hence the reason why, they put them in tablet form, shot form, and so on.
let's get it over and done with.
So yeah,
So
do you wanna wrap it up?
Thanks guys for joining us for another weekly tea. We'll have a little brainwork to see what we can discuss next time.
Yeah, of course. If there are any other questions that we've touched on today, feel free to pop it in the comment section, or drop us a message on our social media pages, and we'll be obviously willing to get back to you. And if you have any suggestions of any other weekly teas that you'd like to see from us, definitely let us know. So yeah,
take care guys.